Hello there everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Elliot Webber and today we're going to be counting down 5 drivers or 5 ex-Formula 1 drivers who I think should race in the BTCC in the near future. So, let's get into it. So, starting off with definitely a bang, I think starting off with the 2009 Formula 1 World Champion Jenson Button. I think he should race in the BTCC very soon. Why? Because, well, I think for most of these it would be great media-wise for the BTCC. Not only that, Jenson Button did actually test a BTCC Nissan car back in 1998. So he's sort of got the experience, and of course, a Formula 1 legend. Again, definitely great for the sport, and of course, he could show off his talents in touring car racing. We know, of course, a Formula 1 world champion. He has, of course, raced in Super GT in Japan, where he actually won the championship in his first year. Of course, made an appearance in British GT last year at Silverstone. So, yeah, I think it'd be great that Jensen Button would make an appearance into the BTCC. And I do believe, actually, he has said in the past that he's interested. So, JB, let's get in the BTCC. Now let's move on to number 2. Yes, next up, number 2, and I think Jolyon Palmer should make an appearance into the BTCC. Now, of course, he was not the best Formula 1 driver, not by a long shot. His best finish was P6 at the 2017 Singapore Grand Prix. Sadly, 2017 would be his last year in Formula 1, getting dropped and being replaced by Carlos Sainz for the 2018 Formula 1 season. But I think Jolyon should make an appearance, or at least do a year or two, maybe even an appearance once. We know he has got a rich dad, a very rich dad. Of course, his father being a Formula 1 race winner, Jolyon Palmer, of course, who we now know owns Motorsport Vision, or MSV, and of course now owns multiple race circuits in the UK. Of course, this includes Brands Hatch, Snetterton, now Donington Park, Cadwell Park, Bedford Autodrome, Alton Park as well. You know, he owns multiple circuits, so of course he has got a lot of money. But of course, Jolyon himself is an analyst on the Formula 1 YouTube channel, so of course he's getting paid over there rather than having to pay to get into the BTCC. But yeah, I'd love to see Jolyon in the BTCC one day. I think it would definitely suit his driving style. He is talented. His Formula 1 career didn't show that. Let's not forget he is a GP2 champion, or Formula 2 as it's now known as. So, yeah, Jolyon, come to the BTCC. Now let's move on to number 3. And this one, you might question me a bit. Now, I know this man isn't a Formula 1 driver, and nor has he made an appearance in a Formula 1 car, but I think that Dan Ticktum should make an appearance into the BTCC. I think as soon as 2022, as soon as next year. Of course, we know Ticktum. He is a polarizing character. We know him famously for having outbursts on the radio. And we know he is not the most likable character. He probably has a popularity that could rival Andy Neate. But we can't hide away from his talent. Ticktum will be one of those drivers who was very talented, but sadly did not make it to Formula 1. Of course, a few weeks ago, he was just dropped by the Williams Academy, basically ruling him out for a Formula 1 appearance next year, or even in the future. Sadly, Ticktum, I don't think now he will not make it to Formula 1, despite the fact he's been a race winner in Formula 4, Formula 3, Formula 2. Everything he has competed in, he has won. A British karting champion, racing against the likes of Lando Norris, who of course is in Formula 1, and of course racing against IndyCar rising star Colton Herta. So I think Ticktum should make a step up into touring car racing. It 100% suits his driving style. Ticktum is known for being very aggressive on track. And that is what I like. You know, we very rarely see aggressive drivers nowadays. Of course, of course there is Max Verstappen, but Ticktum should definitely come to touring car racing. Of course, he's been on the touring car package before. Like I said earlier, he raced in Formula 4 alongside Lando Norris, and he was a race winner. And of course, he has a reputation. But even so, a name like Dan Ticktum in the BTCC will bring many more fans to touring car racing. So, Dan Ticktum, if you're watching this, I highly doubt you are. I'm sure there will be options for you next year in touring car racing. Now, let's move on to number 4. Now, another driver who never officially made an appearance in Formula 1, but I think Gary Paffett should also make an appearance into the BTCC at some point. Gary, as we know, of course, never officially raced in Formula 1, but he was a test driver for McLaren for many, many years, and of course was a Mercedes driver in DTM, where he won the DTM Championship in 2005 and 2018. Not only that, I've met the guy, very nice guy. Thank you for that autograph, Gary. But yeah, Gary Paffett, very talented driver. Probably should have raced in Formula 1 at some point. But of course, he is technically a touring car champion. Of course, as we know, DTM, of course, it's no longer touring car racing, but it did used to be. And Gary was in that touring car aspect. So I think Gary should make an appearance into the BTCC as well. I can definitely see him racing in the BTCC. Of course, he won't be getting paid like he would be if he was in DTM or Formula 1. But I think Gary would love to make an appearance in the BTCC. So Gary, if you're watching this, yeah, come back to the UK. Now let's move on to our 5th and final driver. So our 5th and final driver who I think should make an appearance into the BTCC very soon is Paul di Resta, another DTM champion, the 2010 DTM champion, and of course a former F1 driver. Paul di Resta, of course, won DTM in 2010, then debuted for Force India, now known as Aston Martin, in 2011. He achieved the best finish of 4th, I believe. 4th or 5th, I believe. Sadly, after 2013, Paul di Resta could not achieve a seat for 2014, and so has been in sort of course, didn't have a seat, and so he raced elsewhere, of course, making appearances in the World Endurance Championship, and of course in DTM, where he competed for the 2018 title, but of course lost out to, of course, Gary Paffett. But I think di Resta should make an appearance. I think this one is the most unlikely to happen, purely for the fact that Paul di Resta is a Sky Sports pundit for Formula 1, so of course I don't imagine he'd want to lead that side of things, of course, and he is also racing in the World Endurance Championship. Paul, if you're watching this, good luck at Le Mans this weekend. But yeah, those are the 5 drivers who I think should make appearances in the BTCC, former F1 as well. So yeah, that is it. Button, Palmer, Paffett, Ticktum, di Resta. If any of you are watching this, I would love to see you 5 in the BTCC at some point, whether it's just for an appearance or even for a whole season, or maybe even many, many, many seasons to come. But yeah, guys, if you have enjoyed this video, be sure to like, and if you're new around here, be sure to subscribe, because 95% of you who watch my videos are not subscribed. So that red button, yeah, just click it for me. That'd be great. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. A question for you. Who do you think should make an appearance in the BTCC? That being if it is a former F1 driver, an upcoming F2 driver, or even, you know, a former GT driver. Who do you think should race in the BTCC? Let me know in the comments below. Like I say, if you're new around here, be sure to like. And I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.